All right. Well, today I got funded. So I broke up funding in two parts, $500 and then $500. I didn't realize it was going to take so long to get the money into the account. So I got excited and I decided to trade with $500 in the account anyway. So let's take a look at what happened. Let's get into it. All right. Made a whopping $2.20. I took 3 trades today. And just trying to ease my way into it, take it easy. Didn't start out so good. These charts are really not very complimentary. It looks crazy, all this bleeding out here. But anyway, 3 trades. So let's do a quick recap on those. I took 1 trade at 10.27. Notice I stayed under the cup this time versus yesterday. I took a trade against the trend. Let's see if we can make these bars a little bigger so you can see them. So I took a short here and got stopped out. I started off with 2 contracts and then I dropped down to 1 on this first trade. I'll explain what happened here. So I entered the trade here. And went into profit, and then price bounced back on me. It looks like what it was doing, it was returning to this area right here because it had an unmitigated hidden S&D right in this area. So this move here mitigated that S&D. These things, you'll understand what those kind of terms mean if you watch Dave Teaches on YouTube. He'll talk about things like that. But I'm not a teacher. I am just taking along with me on this journey. I am going to try to do the best I can to present for Mr. Dave, but he's good. I'm a beginner. So anyway, got stopped out. So let me explain what happened here and why I got stopped out. This was a 1-to-1. This trade should have been set against maybe even right. The stop should have been somewhere up here. Okay. Again, there are reasons for that. I don't want to get into how to go through that right now, but it should have been somewhere up there for the most part. And then you just have to manage your risk. In future videos, I'll talk a little bit more about stop placement, but right now I got to give you something to tune in for. Okay, so let me tell you what happened. So in this account, I set up some parameters to help protect my capital, and this Tradeovate has a risk setting that is basically a trailing drawdown. Okay, so basically the stop loss will follow you at a certain distance. Okay, and if you whatever dollar amount you put in there, if you hit that, then it'll stop the trade. Okay. Now, that is a live trailing drawdown. Some prop firms have that in their rules, if you will. I was in a prop firm, and they had that on the funded accounts. Now, different prop firms will have different rules. I'm really giving out some sauce here. So, different prop firms have different rules. And I think the biggest issue for most people, including myself, is that there's so many rules and you have to understand them, because you can break a rule and not realize it, and that happened to me. That's what happened to me. I'm so used to end of day drawdown, and they calculate that. So you could go into deep drawdown in the day and then bring the account back. But at the end of the day, if you are break even, you're good. If you are in drawdown within the limits, then you're good. If you hit the daily stop loss, depending upon where you're at with your account balance, you're good. If you come out in profit, you're good. But when they have a live trailing drawdown, and you hit that, it could cause you to fail your account or lose your account. So let me explain in numbers what that is. So I started the account with $500, and in that trade, as you can see, I went into profit right here. I went into profit. Let me get a marker. So I was in profit right about here. Okay. Now, once I went into profit, which is up here, profit, my trailing drawdown came up there with me. When I went into drawdown here, okay, and that's where I went into drawdown, right around here. Cursor's really small. Sorry about that. And then as soon as I hit the trailing drawdown, stopped me out, stopped the deal. So let's do the math on this. So start out with $500. The stopped me at $104. So if you take if you take $104 off of the $500, yeah, you get $436. So 500 minus the 436, that's 64, and that was what my loss was, $66. So I hope that explains that. So anytime you see trailing drawdown and rules and so forth and so on, this is kind of a basic explanation as to how it works. It stops you. Now, why I love this for my account, okay? So as you can see, I went deeper into drawdown, and what it did is it stopped me somewhere in here, I guess. Instead of taking this additional loss, it stopped me. So it protected capital. And I just got it. I haven't used it before. This is brand new to me, because prop firms don't have this feature. When you sign up for a prop firm with them, they don't have this feature. They do have like max daily loss that you can set, but more often than not, when you get to a certain point in your drawdown, you're like, oh well, I might as well wait now because I'm this far. I'm $930. What's another 70? So anyway, but this here, if they had this mechanism, most people probably would be succeeding in their programs, in their challenges. All right. Next trade. Next trade was at 11:06, and it was a short as well. So that last one obviously was a loss, was negative RR. This one here was a 1-to-1. Okay. Stop losses was above the swing high here. And I'm still working on this, when to get out of a trade once it turns around on you. I need to get a little better at that. But anyway, that was a nice little trade. And that trade was a $50 trade. So I got a little bit of this loss back. I had some other things to do, and I took a nap. Oh, I'm gonna take a nap. And I woke up, and I saw an opportunity where I could possibly, it's close to the end of the day. It's 3:44, so market shuts down at 4 o'clock. So I decided to jump in, take a little chance, and I got a little 1-to-2. Let's see, make that bigger. Wasn't a lot of money, but I got a little 1-to-3, 1.3 to 1.3 or 1.4 RR. Okay. Again, I placed my stop loss at the top of this swing high, went down. I don't know why price didn't want to take out these swing lows and then close that fair value gap. That's what I was kind of thinking it was going to do. But NASDAQ does what it wants to do. And you just have to prepare your risk. You know, your behaviors just have to align. Now, here's the thing. If you're not a good listener, then this is probably not the field you want to be in. I thought I was a good listener, but trading will bring out your flaws. Turns out that I'm a terrible listener. In fact, many times I don't even listen to myself. So you have to listen with your eyes. Okay, so you have to pay close attention. And if the market is telling you to get out, get out. And if you don't listen, it will make you pay. So if you're not a good listener, practice listening before you get into this game, because listening is critical. And if you're hard-headed, it's even more critical, because I'm both of those. And if you are, and you really want to do this, bring your helmet. All right, let's move on. That was the last trade of the day. Not too bad. I did want to share one other thing with you with regards to market structure. Okay, there is a indicator, and it's zigzag multi-T fab. Okay, and let's see if I can or not that line. But sometimes I have trouble telling where a swing high, swing low is. Basically market structure, because market structure moves in swings, right? So market structure moves like this: up, pull back, up, pull back. Okay, and sometimes it's difficult for me to tell where the pullback actually stops. What Zigzag does, it will map that out for you. Now, there's a couple of little issues with this, and you have to really work with this in order to understand what's happening. You can set the number of swings that is counted. There are intermediate highs and lows, and sometimes I will line myself up with an intermediate high and low, high or low, and that's not the right zone. So I miscalculated. And if you do that, your trade, your interpretation of the trade and what it's doing can be off. So sometimes I try not to use this. I try to look at the chart with the naked eye, but I'm still getting used to market structure. And as you can see, this will lay out where they are roughly. You still have to rely on your naked eye to help you out, but sometimes I need a little help seeing where the zone is, and lining myself up with the trade properly. Now, keep in mind, the swings are based on your time frame, right? So if you go to the 15-minute time frame, let's say we got a swing high here and a swing low here. Okay. Now, if you go to the 15-minute, let's go to the 15-minute. Too big. Now your swing high is right here. Your swing high and your swing low is right here. That's a huge difference, right? So it's based on your time frame. So I'm gonna give away some sauce here. As they always say, the higher time frame is your best guide to price, right? So here's what happens. Your higher time frame would be here, okay? As we just saw in this example here. That's your higher time frame market structure. Your lower time frame is here. If you're a scalper and you are scalping, then you can trade this market structure. But if you're not, yeah, not a good idea, because you will get messed up. Trust me, I know. So, if you know what you're doing and you're a high level trader, you can trade this market structure. But for me, in my skill sets, I'm going to stick with understanding structure on the higher time frame. Now, the higher time frame for me mostly is 15 minutes. 15 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, between 5 and 15 minutes. But that's the difference between those two. So don't try to place your trade on this time frame and figure out this, because your stop loss is going to be crazy long. Okay. What I'll do is try to figure out where my entry is on the higher time frame and then hone in on where to get in. But my stop loss will be placed according to how much I can afford on the higher time frame. Whether that be 5 minutes, whether that be 1 minute, what have you. So that's it for today. Hope you got something out of that. 3 trades. The journey continues tomorrow. Later.